I'm ready.
You guys ready? The Monday, September 20th, City of Vandalia Council meeting is now called to order. We'll start with a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Council, we have no previous meeting minutes to approve, and that brings us to communications, petitions, and awards. Mr. Wendt?
Sorry, Your Honor, you're so expedient and efficient that I nearly lost my spot, and how could I forget? Today we'll be introducing to you our new public safety specialist, who is Grace Conley, formerly Grace Borders. And I'm going to let Chief Althouse introduce her a little bit, but she's a Vandalia resident, so we're super happy to see her come on board, and a former federal government employee, so welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Wendt, and thank you, City Council, for this opportunity to introduce one of our newest employees at the Vandalia Police Department. And it's our pleasure tonight to introduce Grace Conley, and she's been appointed as a probationary public safety specialist with the Vandalia Division of Police and began her employment with us on last Wednesday, September 15th. And she graduated from Northmont High School in 2019, attended Sinclair Community College, and also worked for the Salvation Army Kroc Center as a member services representative. Her most recent position, as Mr. Wendt indicated, was with the Transportation Security Administration as an officer out at the Dayton International Airport, where she's been for more than a year and a half. She also worked, I believe, at Kroger doing customer service there throughout high school. And she and her husband, Sam, reside here in Vandalia. Sam is a police officer with Greenville Police Department. I had the opportunity to teach him when he went through the police academy, so yes, very much so. So we have a public safety family here, and we're glad to have them on board. So, and it looks like you brought a number of guests with you this evening. If you want to take a moment just to introduce those to council.
So over there in the corner, this is Sam's mom, my mother-in-law, Molly. And then there's Ella, my sister, 15 years old. And there's Hannah and Ben, my brother and sister-in-law. That's actually Sam's twin. And then my mom and dad.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for supporting her this evening as she came and joined us. And I know I've mentioned it before, but these are the employees that are behind the scene that make sure our town remains safe. They're the ones who are at a moment's notice, can get that 911 call or get that need for help, and they answer the phone. They get officers en route to the call. They get the medics and the firefighters en route to the call. So it's a very, very critical component of our city services here. So we're excited to have Grace on board and look forward to having her being part of our team at the Vandalia Police Department.
All right. Well, thank you.
Very much.
Well, Ms. Conley, we're pleased that you've joined our team, and we're looking forward to seeing more of you and working with you. And at this time, I'd also like to mention that if you and your guests would like to leave the meeting, this would be appropriate. You don't have to sit through the entire meeting.
We have so much cool local government stuff to do, though.
They're going to take you up on it.
Yeah. Again, thanks for coming, and congratulations on your new position. Thanks. Don't say a word. Okay, we have no public hearing, and that brings us to comments from interested citizens. And I'd also like to note that per the advice of our city attorney, that we will only be taking comments from people that are here personally, so we will not be taking comments from those that are online. So if anyone would like to make a comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address for our record, and your comment. Being none, I'll close the public hearing, and that brings us to our city manager's report, where we have some information items and some action items.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Of course, October is Fire Prevention Month. The Division of Fire has an open house on October 3rd from 12 noon to 2 p.m. So that's over on Peters Pike. So we'd love to see the community come out for that. Of course, we have we of course have on the website our leaf pickup map, vandaliaohio.org/leaves or leaf. Both will get you there to the pickup map to see where you can have your items. You know, I just want to take a moment and point out this week we had a great collaboration between the city, the schools, and the township. Councilmember Forrest was nice enough to organize a meeting where we discussed with a resident on Stone Quarry about connecting that sidewalk over to Morton Middle School and those necessary requirements. And, you know, I think it really meant a lot to those residents that the four of us came out, that we heard what their concerns were, both the Mrs. Weaver and her son. And, you know, it just kind of looked like good government. And I say that because the completion of the sidewalk would mean that possibly a couple of buses could come off route, more kids could walk to school, and those funds could be redirected elsewhere. So I do think that it's a very worthy investment. Looking through my notes, we continue to have great interest in the small business relief grant that we have up on the website. And of course, we have an employee appreciation event on Thursday, the 23rd, from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. for, it's a taco bar, and it's at the senior center, and you're definitely invited. I will move on to boards and commissions appointments. What I have here is, I'm so gonna find it, an application from Ms. Dugan, who's requesting appointment to the Vandalia Arts Council, and that's our action item here.
All right, thank you. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the appointment of Ms. Cynthia Dugan to the Vandalia Arts Council.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Forrest and a second by Councilman Blakesley that we approve the appointment of Ms. Cynthia Dugan to the Vandalia Arts Council. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
I'm sorry, who seconded that? I missed that.
Councilman Blakesley?
Okay, thank you, I'm sorry. Councilmember Follett?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. We have no old business, and that brings us to our first resolution of the night, that being Resolution 21-R-60. Mr. McDonald?
A resolution to enter into a cost-sharing agreement with Montgomery County for engineering and design of improvements for a northern ring road around the Dayton International Airport.
Thank you. Mr. Wendt?
Montgomery County Engineers Office has been awarded the Transportation Review Advisory Council funding for the engineering and design of improvements around the north side of the airport. The estimated engineering cost is $2,156,000. TRAC has approved 80% of this cost, up to $1.6 million, with the remaining amount to be paid with local funds. Montgomery County has requested that the City of Vandalia share in the cost of engineering by a percentage based on the length within the city. By this method, our share of the local match would be $166,800 based on the estimate with the Montgomery County Engineers Office.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve Resolution 21-R-60 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Follick and a second by Councilman Lewis that we approve Resolution 21-R-60 as presented. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Follett?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have Resolution 21-R-61.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of the upfit equipment for a 2022 International HV 507 tandem cab and chassis, including snow and ice accessories, by the Public Works Department from K.E. Rose Company at the Sourcewell Cooperative, there we go, bidding contract in the amount of $124,339.
Thank you. Mr. Wendt.
Public Works Division is proposing to replace their 2007 tandem dump truck. Money was appropriated in the 2021 capital improvement budget. These vehicles are critical to our daily operations, and especially in our snow and ice removal operations, where the city maintains over 207 lane miles. City authorized the purchase of the cab and chassis from Rush Truck Center on Poe Ave at our last council meeting. Public Works is proposing to purchase the upfit of the snow and ice equipment and the dump body from K.E. Rose through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing at the price of $124,339.
Thank you. Have a motion?
Move that we approve Resolution 21R61.
Second.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Ehlers and a second by Councilman Blakesley that we approve Resolution 21-R-61. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have Resolution 21-R-62.
Let's see if I can read this one. A resolution approving the Scene 75 replat.
Thank you for keeping it short.
There we go.
Mr. Wendt.
What he said. The owner applicant, Poe Ave, 6196 LLC and JDS Holdings, Commercial Holdings, has applied and requesting the replat of 22.1110 acres of land at 3375 Stop 8 Road and 6196 Poe Avenue. The requested replat would result in the creating of two lots, one with 15.2529 acres for Scene 75, and one with 6.8581 acres that was formerly occupied by ITT Tech. The Planning Commission voted 5-0 to recommend approval for this request, and that is also the staff recommendation.
All right, thank you. Have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve Resolution 21R62.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Blakesley and a second by Councilwoman Fairst that we approve Resolution 21-R-62. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers.
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, the motion carries 7-0. We have no ordinances in their first reading, and we have one ordinance in its second reading, that being Ordinance 21-26. Mr. McDonald?
An ordinance rezoning 6.8581 acres of land located at 3325 Stop 8 Road from highway business to industrial and amending the zoning map of the city.
Thank you. Mr. Wendt?
The owner applicant, Poe Ave, 6196 LLC and JDS Commercial Holdings, is requesting the rezoning of approximately 6.8581 acres of land at 3325 Stop 8 Road from highway business to industrial. The purpose of the rezoning request is to establish the use of retail sales of materials and equipment to the construction industry. The request for rezoning to industrial, however, does not conform to the city's future land use map designation of industrial innovation. Planning Commission voted 5-0 to recommend approval of this request, and the staff recommendation is approval as well.
Thank you. Since this is an ordinance in the second reading, I'll open up a public hearing, so if anyone would like to speak on this ordinance, please come to the podium, state your name and address for our record and your comment. Being none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
I'll move that we approve ordinance 2126 in its second reading.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Vice Mayor Ehlers that we approve ordinance 21-26 in its second reading. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers.
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, the motion carries 7-0. We'll move on. We have an emergency ordinance, that being emergency ordinance 21-27. Mr. McDonald?
An ordinance approving individual assessment amounts and directing the finance director or her designee to certify the amounts to the county auditor for collection and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mr. Wendt?
This emergency ordinance assesses properties for delinquent accounts related to stormwater fees, trash collection, weed cutting, and sewer and water.
Thank you. Since this is an emergency ordinance, I'll open up a public hearing, so if anyone would like to speak on this ordinance, please come to the podium, state your name and address for our record, and your comment. Being none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve ordinance 21-27 as an emergency.
Second?
I have a motion by Councilwoman Forrest and a second by Councilman Lewis that we approve ordinance 21-27 as an emergency. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ayers.
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have emergency ordinance 21-28. Mr. McDonald.
An ordinance to revise appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Vandalia, Montgomery County, Ohio, during calendar year December 31, 2021, and amending ordinance 2036 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Wendt.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm requesting the approval of the following supplemental appropriation ordinance for an increase in the general fund in the amount of $1,558,911.95, an increase in the street fund in the amount of $11,658.59, increase in stormwater fund in the amount of $4,663.45, increase in capital improvement fund in the amount of $11,658.59, increase in the facilities improvement maintenance reserve fund in the amount of $1,563,375, increase in the water fund in the amount of $9,326.87, increase in the sewer fund in the amount of $9,326.87. The end.
Thank you. Since this is an emergency ordinance, I'll open a public hearing, so if anyone would like to make comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address for our record, and your comment. Being none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve ordinance 21-28 as an emergency.
Second?
I have a motion by Councilman Follak and a second by Councilman Blakesley that we approve ordinance 21-28 as an emergency. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ayers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, the motion carries 7-0. We have no reports from boards and commissions, and that brings us to the August bill listing in the amount of $2,867,276.12, and the August purchase card detail in the amount of $20,523,062, or $20,523.62, sorry. Excuse
I
me.
think you gave a palpitation to the finance director there.
Thank you. All right, and that brings us to council comments. Mr. McDonald.
Only one, just to let council know that the nuisance abatement on Little York Road started last week, and it's in process. It's going off pretty much without a hitch. Thanking to police department for being there just in case, and also our own folks dealing with the property owner and such. So the garage is down, and it's just a matter of cleaning up what's still there.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wendt.
Your Honor, I would request council's consideration to have two separate budget workshops. I would propose first, and request that you check your availability, to start it potentially at 3 p.m. on either October 25th or 26th. That's a Monday or a Tuesday, and then work as long as we feel like it. The other proposal that I would have, our legislative agenda is quite light on the 1st of November, and so I would propose that the budget workshop take place during the study session at 5 p.m. or earlier.
I thought I mentioned to you that I will be out of town
Oh, is it those days that you're out of town? I don't know, I forgot about that until
part
now.
of October.
Okay, let me get back to you. What are those dates that you're out of town?
I think it's I want to say it's the last 10 days of October.
Last 10 of October. Let me follow up in an email tomorrow about that and speak with the finance director about what kind of time she needs to turn around in order to turn around any sort of changes to provide that in a meaningful way. For me, I'm absolutely good as long as we get our goal-setting meeting ahead of time for that. But let me follow up with an email with some more dates then.
Are there any other dates that any council members know that they will not be able to participate? Can give him right now?
Through October, Thursday nights are booked for me.
Okay. Everybody else okay with any other date that,
I'm good anytime
I'm
October.
going to have trouble with Tuesday evenings, probably October, November.
I knew I shouldn't have asked.
I know, I was thinking.
All right. I knew that was a big lift for council comments. I'm glad that I brought it up because I forgot you were going to be out. I have no further comments. I'll just sit here.
Quit while you're ahead.
All right, Councilman Blakesley.
Yes. I want to thank all of the Vandalia staff that helped with the Oktoberfest this year. The Vandalia Police, Fire, and most of all, Parks District, or Parks and Rec. And without them and the rest of the community, I don't think it would have been a success. And that's one of the things I wanted to bring up, too, that there had been some thought about the Oktoberfest and what it means to Vandalia. Even though it's not a Vandalia city event, it is a city-wide activity that I think people look forward to. And one of the things that Sister Cities is, that we stand for, is that it's a nonprofit international organization dedicated to fostering global friendship and understanding communication, serving the Vandalia Butler community. So I think with that, it's a sense of, again, we've talked about community before, and I think that's one of the things that this does, and Sister Cities, helps provide that. And I think, too, that a lot of people think that the funds to the Oktoberfest, go to Sister Cities, and not really. I mean, a very small portion of that. And actually, the funding goes back into the community. And we're excited to be able to give back to the Honor Society, Youth Exchange, hosting German and Scottish students, Firefighters Association, youth sports teams, up to 6 of them, Vandalia Food Pantry, college scholarships, which we have 4, and 2 of them repeat, Butler athletic programs, Butler After Prom, and other various volunteer organizations that help with Oktoberfest. So it was very successful based on the weather, and so it's nice to be able to provide those things back to the community, because that's really what this is all about, is a community event. So it's really excited and hope we can do this again next year. And again, including some of the volunteers sitting here at the dais, we appreciate your help too, and truly a volunteer group. So I look forward to next year. Thank you.
Thanks. I was going to mention that our city council and our city manager, Mr. Wendt, and his wife worked the gate with us on Thursday and Friday, helping, and it was much appreciated. I know my wife appreciates it because she was in charge of putting that crew together. But again, thank you. Councilwoman Woods.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilman Lewis.
I only want to just add quickly that I wanted to congratulate the Sister Cities on what appeared to be a wonderful activity, and that I know from experience that several of my children have been the beneficiaries of both scholarships and the Youth Study Exchange, and tremendous things for our community. And congratulations, and lastly, congratulations to us for the hiring of Grace Conley, because she looks like she has a history of public service, and by appearances, she seems to be young blood, and it'll be a wonderful addition to our city. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Councilman Pollak.
Yes, just a couple of things. One, I meant to bring up last meeting and forgot, but that was just to acknowledge and thank 2 new Vandalia business owners, Mark Myers and David Potts, who are the proprietors for the new Culvers, for their donation, more or less, of allowing the fire division to use the old Ruby Tuesday building before demolition. So I know that all of our public safety, but the fire department gets a lot of use as those type of structures where they can create training that they can't have all the time. So that was a great opportunity for them, so thank them for that. And also, I just wanted to recognize again Sergeant Nagel, Officer Schaefer, and Officer Thomas. They were recognized by the Knights of Columbus back on September the 11th at a regional ceremony where the three of them had been selected for the 2021 Blue Coat of the Year award. So I know we recognized them a few weeks back, but I think that they got regional recognition for their actions back in January speaks to their actions that day. And then lastly, I just wanted to point out that the rec center, I know it's been out on social media, but I think the community members or even people outside of Vandalia, they're running a promotion right now that if they purchase a 2022 annual membership, they get the rest of 2021 free. So the sooner they can purchase a rec center pass for 2022, am I saying that correctly? They are getting, basically 15 months for the price of 12. So I think it's a great deal for the cost and for that facility. So I would encourage people to take advantage of this promotion. I think it runs through the beginning of November, right? November 1st. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Forrest?
Just to piggyback a little bit and thank staff, I think being introduced to our new employees has been a real advantage for us as council members. It's exciting to hear these new people coming on board, and I think it gives a good light to all of Vandalia. And thanks, Sister Cities. It's always a nice thing to have a great event that encompasses the whole community, and it's very worthwhile. So that's it, and thank you very much.
All right. Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, again, I wanted to also welcome Ms. Conley to our staff. It's always great to have a Vandalia resident and someone here local that's knows a little bit about our history in this area, join the city. And also I wanted to bring up, since Park Director Clark went a little bit long-winded tonight, we never got to the 60-day calendar. So are we going to be resuming our study session, or will we be putting that off to next meeting?
How about I just email it to you later?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody okay with that? All right. Well, that's all I have, so this meeting is adjourned.
I thought we had an executive session.